Let's roll, baby. Welcome in a loaded edition of the New York Sports Rush presented by the Bet Rivers Network. It's Sal Licata alongside John Jastrzemski. Sal, we've been waiting for days for action. It sure seems like the Skubal news to the Dodgers has triggered a whole lot of moving and shaking over the last 48 hours. We'll get to Freddy Peralta. We'll get to Luis García, which is a creative way for the Yankees to go and address their offense. But I know Skubal was your white whale. And this is where I think we are going to differ. You're going to look at this as a monstrous missed opportunity for the New York Yankees. Here's my feeling on it, Sal. This is where conspiracy theory JJ is coming in. I think the fix is in. You're telling me that's the best the Detroit Tigers could do for Tarik Skubal? You're telling me Milwaukee with a loaded system couldn't beat that? You're telling me Tampa with a loaded system couldn't beat that? I get the sense the owner of the Detroit Tigers is saying, hey, let's send them to the Dodgers. Let's let them go and get their three-peat, and then we can go and draw a line in the sand, get our salary cap, and everybody's happy. Sorry, I see that trade, and that's what I think, Sal.
Hard to combat that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'd be lying to you if I said that crossed my mind at all. It did not. I was more reacting from the standpoint of I thought the Yankees should have been more aggressive. Here's what I love from the Dodgers' perspective here. Let me read you these quotes, and then we can maybe talk about your conspiracy theory here. The Dodgers identified Skubal as the only true needle mover on this year's deadline market, as have I. Like, that was the reason why I wanted the Yankees to get him. Obviously, he wasn't a need, but he's the one clear needle mover. They said it was Skubal or nothing. The mindset was we're really going to be aggressive for one player. That's what I wanted the Yankees to do. Identify the one needle mover, the one difference maker. Skubal was clearly that. Mason Miller, I wouldn't anticipate is going to get traded. I don't think he was ever realistic. So, yeah, you should be in on him, but realistically, was he going to be moved? No. So who's the one real needle mover? That was Skubal. And the Dodgers have an identification. They do that with Skubal, and then they go get him. Now, do I really think, like, is it plausible what you're saying? Yes. Do I really? And I don't want to believe that that's the case. Maybe that's part of why I really don't think that that's the case. Hard to argue against what you're saying, JJ, but I really don't think that that's the case. Although I would like them to explain how they couldn't get better for Tarik Skubal when by most accounts, if not all accounts, it was a light return for the biggest impact player at the trade deadline.
Well, that's my thing. It is a light return. And that's why we can look at the Yankees and you want to tell me this was a missed opportunity to go all in. I don't see it that way because he can't hit. Like, that's my thing, Sal. Like, if there was an offensive version of Tarik Skubal, I'm like, dude, you got to move heaven and earth to go and get him. I'm still going to be very, very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. Now, it may blow up in my face. Garrett Cole could get bombed in Fenway Park or against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. Max Fried or Cam Schlittler could go and fail miserably. But, like, if the Yankees are playing a wild card series, I am like, great. The starting rotation is where it needs to be. If they have to go to a division series, and it means even a guy like Rodon, who I don't love, but if Carlos Rodon is your fourth starter, that's pretty damn good. I mean, let's call it like it is. That's pretty damn good. What's going to define this Yankee team, though, is going to be 1 through 9 in that batting order, right? Like, Sal, when the Yankees have lost in the postseason, has pitching been a major theme for them?
Well, I mean, years ago, it was no, you're right. It's always that their offense has been so great in the regular season, and then come postseason, it never lives up to what it did in the regular season. But it's not like they had lights out pitching for years. This is clearly the best pitching that they've had for quite some time going into the postseason with Cole, assuming Cole healthy, Fried healthy, Schlittler healthy. The only reason why I wanted Skubal is not because of the need. Obviously, they don't need it. Like, now I don't want another starting pitcher if I'm the Yankees. I just want the most impact player. And the best team gets the best impact player with the Dodgers. So that infuriates me. Okay, so the Yankees added some offense. And by the way, without Judge and Stanton coming back, they're screwed anyway. They need, obviously, Bellinger will come back, just a matter of when. Sounds like Stanton's working his way back. Who knows with Aaron Judge? But if they don't get those guys back, Luis García Jr., he doesn't do much anyway. Where the hell is he playing, dude? So I get the idea of bringing in a bat, and I like that. I think the Yankees got better in that regard. How are you getting him into the lineup, assuming everybody else is healthy?
Well, you're right about this. It's going to require, when everybody's back, some roster gymnastics. And that's why, like, when this story came out from Sherman, Sal, on Saturday about Luis García, my first reaction was, where's he playing?
Right.
Like, I love the bat. He puts the ball in play. You and I love that.
Yes.
We love guys that take advantage of the short porch at Yankee Stadium. Luis Garcia's got a swing that's going to do that. The old school guy's going to like him because he hits for batting average. The new school guy is going to like him because he hits the ball really hard. The bottom line is against right-handed pitching. That's what he is. He is a strictly platoon player. If you play him against lefties, you're not going to love him. Against righties, he's going to rake. So where does he play? Well, first base DH. You can't play him at second base. The Nationals tried that a year or two ago. He makes Gleyber Torres and Jazz Chisholm look like Willie Randolph, okay, or whoever, Roberto Alomar, whoever your great defensive second baseman may be. Yankees are not going to mess around and put Luis Garcia at second base. Paul Goldschmidt over the last month has gotten exposed, right? And they can't be in the business of, oh, we getting Stanton back. Oh, we get like eventually you might get those guys back, but you're in a dogfight with the Rays. You're in a dogfight with Boston, who just swept the Dodgers. These games here in the month of August matter. Garcia is under control for next year. So here's the deal, Sal. He platoons with Goldschmidt. That's it. Every day. Lefty, Goldschmidt. Righty, Garcia. Rice every day. And now there's more work to do.
Yeah, I still don't love it from the aspect of, for now, yes, understood. And of course you like adding a bat, but it's like a lefty hitter that plays first base and can only DH. Like, They already have that. So when Stanton comes back, does this mean Stanton's going to have to play the outfield a little bit? I mean, is that
well, is he back before Aaron Judge?
Well, I mean, all right, give me the fully, because this is what the Yankees is about, the postseason. It's not about
okay. So you're talking October.
Well, yeah, I mean, isn't that what it's about?
No. But I want to make sure I get the parameters correct. Are we talking game one of whatever postseason series the Yankees are playing?
Yeah, against a right-handed pitcher.
Okay, I think Garcia's in the lineup.
Okay, and my
not Stanton.
So you take Stanton out. Okay, fair enough. So if you're saying he is the DH and there's the DH platoon, Stanton versus lefties, Garcia versus righties, then that's how you get him in the lineup. I'm just, so he's their, basically he's the Yankees DH. If that's the case, he's their DH, except against left-handed pitching when you'd hope to have Stanton back. And in this case, in the short term, it would be Paul Goldschmidt, who will effectively be relegated to the bench outside of a late inning defensive replacement in the postseason, which is fine. But then that's the fit. I still think they need a lot more here.
It's clunky. I agree with you. They do need a lot more. Here's the problem, though. There's not that perfect player for them to go and acquire, right? Like Jeremy Pena, let's say at shortstop, would have been ideal. The Astros now are like, we're not selling. He's our shortstop. Ellie De La Cruz, if he was getting traded by Cincinnati, okay, he fits great. He's not getting traded. So, like, even the catchers, right? Like Hunter Goodman or Ryan Jeffers, there's a very good chance those guys remain on their respective teams before this deadline comes to a close. So they had to get some sort of sound. The amount of baseball, like they were so bad offensively, even though they had a winning road trip, which I want to commend the Yankees for because they pitched their asses off. It just goes to show you, though, they lost 2 games where the starting pitchers basically were throwing gems into the 7th inning in Shortler and in Weathers. And then I got to see the Saturday lineup. This now needs to eliminate the Schumans and the Volpes from being anywhere near the team. Like, I can't sit and watch those guys play for my team anymore. I can't do it.
Right, but how are you going to have Schumann out of the lineup when you, like, right now, he's still got to be in there. They need an outfielder.
Well, you can still go and add an outfielder between now and 6 o'clock.
So you're saying, so that's what you want, dude. I mean, they need.
Here's what I want. Sal, I'll tell you what I want between now and 6 o'clock. This is a perfect segue. I need a catcher in some capacity.
Rutschman?
Now, I would love Rutschman. If it's not Rutschman, is it Kyle Higashioka? Is it Jonah Heim? It just has to be somebody who's not Ali Sanchez.
Right.
And somebody who can legitimately push Austin Wells. You know, Austin Wells, I want to give him credit because the Thurman Munson stuff was awesome. It's the most positive contribution he's made to the Yankees all year. I mean, other than that, I mean, the guy has been an absolute stiff. So they need a catcher. I need some form of an outfield bat. Could be right-handed, like your guy Taylor would be amazing. They're talking about a guy in San Francisco who hits left-handed pitching. Great. Like somebody who can go and fit that sort of mold. And then the last element of this, Sal, which I think will eliminate the Volpes, which will eliminate the Schumans, call George Lombard up and put him at shortstop and let Caballero and McMahon be a third base platoon. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to do it. Look, I'm not going to knock the Luis Garcia Jr. trade because he might essentially be the best bat that gets traded at the trade deadline. So you need the offense, It's not like he's he's having a career year. Obviously, he's been good for all the reasons that you mentioned. If that's the best bat, you go out there and get him and you figure it out later where you're going to play him. But I don't think it's nearly enough for the Yankees, nor does the puzzle pieces fit well enough to where you can now sit back and say, okay, well, we're good here. We don't have to live with Schumann and left, or we don't have to see Volpe again. Like, no, all that stuff is still in play. This upgraded DH for the time being, and then you could have a whole nother issue with Stanton. I really think we might be seeing when Stanton comes back, they're going to try to get him in the outfield again. Or if it's maybe insurance, if Judge can't come back, then maybe.
See, I think you're more likely to see that if Aaron Judge is not back.
Right.
But if Judge is back, dude, you can't play Stanton in left field at Yankee Stadium. You can't do it.
And then, what are we looking at in the outfield still? If you don't get another outfielder, let's just say the Yankees upgrade catcher and get a reliever, because they do need a reliever here.
Desperately.
They desperately need a reliever, and they desperately need a catcher. Let's just say they stand pat, get a catcher, reliever, but stand pat.
And they're going to get a reliever. Let's make that clear.
Yeah,
there's so many guys out there. It doesn't have to be the best reliever. They'll get somebody to go and fortify this thing.
Yeah, which is fine. You need to upgrade the bullpen any way that they can. What's the outfield going to look like? Assuming Judge comes back, great. Bellinger back, great. You're going to have Grisham still in center field then?
What's the Jones-Dominguez situation? And right now, it's funny how that works. I was of the belief, it's Dominguez. This the guy's going to make the most of his opportunity. Sal, he drives me to drink. I can't watch him anymore. He makes a mistake every single day, whether it's a bonehead play in the outfield, not hitting the cutoff man. He has talent. He is a low baseball IQ player. Jones, he's a lefty. So, I don't know where that plays in taking at bats away from Trent Grisham, but Grisham's been awful since he's come off the IL. Absolutely positively awful. That's why like a right-handed hitting outfielder made sense to me, because you can spell him when Bellinger comes back. There's room for him and what have you. But for the time being, I'd rather see Jones play than Dominguez, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but then it comes down to Jones versus Grisham, and I guess it's pick your poison there. Is it going to be?
And I feel like the Yankees are so pot committed with Grisham making the money that he's making. I can't imagine they're going to sit him on the bench the final 2 months of the year.
But we still have similar issues. Like it's less about who they're acquiring at the deadline, which could fortify their bench. And right now, you take Tyrone Taylor certainly over Schumann, and you take him over Dominguez. Nobody wants to admit that. You'd have Tyrone Taylor right now. He's been on a heater. He at least can play the position. You want to put him in right. You want to put him in left. He can play the outfield. He runs well. He's been on fire with the bat. I'd rather have Tyrone Taylor as an upgrade.
I would take Taylor on the Yankees in a second. He'd be perfect.
But it all comes down to getting Judge back healthy and Bellinger back healthy, and maybe now less Stanton because of the addition to Luis García Jr. But the Yankees have some work to do here.
Okay. We have a Met trade. Literally just broke. Brooks Raley is on his way to the Philadelphia Phillies. You got the 27th ranked prospect in the Philly system. You excited about that?
No, I'm not. I'm not excited really about. Look, dude, we knew what this was going to be.
Sal, how can you get excited about it? For anybody that's going to get excited about these guys, my counter would be, do I need to remind you about Drew Gilbert and Luis Angel Acuna when they made the Scherzer and Verlander trades? I don't know if you feel this way. I feel this way. Anybody that they get between now and 6 p.m., can these be guys that we package off to go and get some big league talent for next year's team? Can we do that?
I think that's the hope. First, the emotions are not of excitement. They are of sadness. When you see the Yankees adding, when you see the Dodgers adding, when you see the Phillies adding, and you're sitting here selling off pieces for 30th ranked relievers or whatever, 30th ranked prospects in trade for relievers, it is terribly disappointing. But the goal, being that they're in the position that they are, should be to stockpile as many prospects as you possibly can to replenish the farm, evaluate where you are afterwards, and then use these pieces to bring in real major league players that can help contribute to a winning ball club as soon as next year. That's the goal here. So hopefully there are more to come. You could be at the end of this, the Mets are going to probably end up with 15 prospects, I would think. And of those 15, maybe 1 or 2 hit, but more importantly, maybe you trade 5 or 8 of those guys, whatever, for more players. One of the big reasons why the Mets farm system is depleted is because they traded their number 3 prospect in Jet Williams and number 5, Brandon Sproat, for Freddy Peralta, who was an absolute disaster. And then he brings back 3 prospects that are lesser value than those guys would have been. So they're in the process clearly of rebuilding the farm system, but I never want to be in this spot. Give me last year all day long when they were.
Yeah, of course. You're in it. Listen, we want to have meaningful baseball. We want to have a team that matters. The Mets have been in the abyss literally since the 12-game losing streak. And it just goes to show you, sometimes we're being dramatic. Other times we're not being dramatic. When a team loses 12, 13 games in a row, even in this new playoff format, Sal, there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that because it just speaks to the ineptitude that you're seeing on the field. And you would be a good person to ask this question. Peralta is now going to go down as an all-time bad Met trade. And we have no idea what Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams are going to be. Forget about that. I don't even care if they turn out to be all-stars, if they turn out to be stiffs. Just the idea that David Stearns identified a pitcher that he thought was going to be a difference maker. And in the defense of David Stearns, and I have a lot of problems with the way he's run the team, and I have a lot of critiques, this is not one of them. I would have made this trade in 5 seconds. I think everybody that we talk to, you do Baseball Night in New York, I'm on the couch all the time, you were not going to find one person that came on the panel over the week of the Freddy Peralta trade that would have said, I don't like this for the Mets. So I think they gave up too much. It was perfect. It just did not work out. Are you ready to put this trade in the Alomar category with Cleveland? Ooh. Are you ready to put this trade? Now, this one's a doozy. The Billy Taylor, Jason Isringhausen Oakland trade is one of the worst trades they've ever made. I mean, my God, that was an absolutely hideous trade because Isringhausen would actually help the team in the years to come. And Billy Taylor, enough said there. How about Casimir, Sergeant Duquette? I had to do it, but
Javi Baez PCA.
Wow. That one looks worse.
I know.
When you watch PCA, and I'm watching the Cubs this weekend, I'm like, wow, leadoff hitter. He's got freaking attitude.
Yes.
Sal, you would have loved him. He would have been your favorite Met.
That's the number one.
Soto.
Dude, you nailed it. That's the number one takeaway from this weekend for me, watching the Yankees in Wrigley, which, by the way, is like, that's a must.
I went a couple of years ago. It is, and I got better weather than what they had this weekend. So
Wrigley,
I guess I went. But yeah, it's my favorite place to watch a game.
For a baseball fan, it is heaven on earth. I don't care which teams are playing, but it's beautiful. So watching that, though, my takeaway was, okay, I could understand trading prospects. Like, I get it. I would line up at the time. I was like, Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, look at the name. What type of name is that? What big league players could be any good with a name like Pete Crow Armstrong? Like, that name itself screamed at you, failed prospect, Pete Crow Armstrong. So I had no problem with the trade at the time, but I was not within the Mets organization. I would like to think that somebody there had encounters with this guy and was like, God, he's got some attitude, the passion, the attitude. Like, forget the numbers or the play. You'd be looking at the ticker a little bit. He's clearly got that. So how do you miscalculate that and make him the guy that you send? But I think it depends on how you grade the worst trades, because I would do the Peralta trade over again.
How could you not? It was a no-brainer.
Every single time. Same thing with the Baez one at the time. Now, remember, the Mets wanted to protect Matt Allen, their number one prospect. Like, I just like going for it. And more often than not, the prospects are going to be bust. The Peralta trade is not because they gave up Jet Williams or Brandon Sproat. Nobody cares about those guys.
It's about Peralta.
It's about Peralta. For whatever reason, whether it's them ruining him not being ready for New York, it was a disaster. So I always judge these things on the expectations versus results. And with Peralta, the expectations were that he was going to fortify that staff and, if not be a true ace, at the very least anchor that rotation, coming off a year where he had an ERA in the 2s. And he resulted having one of the worst ERAs in the league, around 5, probably over 5. I don't know what is exactly at this moment. And they had to trade him at the deadline. So I like the Alomar one was god awful. I remember buying an Alomar jersey. Benigno
Dude, the guy was
for that.
unbelievable. Think about this with Alomar.
I loved him.
The guy was brilliant everywhere else. Came to the Mets, career over.
Dude, and Toronto, Baltimore, Cleveland, like superstar stud.
Hall of
Famer, Gold Glover, hitting from both sides of the play. Like, he was one of my favorite players from afar, Robbie Alomar, dating back to his Toronto days. So, I mean, that was just turned out to be a disaster. He fell off a cliff. That was a bad one. But this one, I think, is, and maybe it's recency bias, this is right up there. If it's not the worst, it's certainly one of them.
Well, Sal, think about this. The Mets, being in the predicament that they're in, there's a lot you can dive into. We could do a full tilt synopsis on everything that has gone wrong this offseason and really for the better part of the last year and a half. But the two big moves of the offseason have been monumental flops, right? They brought in Bo Bichette and gave him north of $40 million a year. Bo Bichette has been atrocious. I don't care if he's hit a little bit and his numbers aren't going to look as bad on the surface. He's got an OPS under 700. Like Jose Caballero has a better OPS than Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
That is a monumental problem. Freddy Peralta pitched to an ERA close to 5 and got dealt away midseason for the Rays' 17th and 20th prospects. If that does not sum up what the 2026 season has been about for the Mets, what will? Bichette, Peralta, need them to be all-stars. They both stink.
It's funny, you go into these years or trade deadlines, whatever, off seasons, and you look at these moves, and it's like, all right, well, if they hit on all of them, it's going to be a great year. If they don't hit, it's going to be bad. Maybe there's somewhere in between. The Mets, every one of them came up bad. And not even just bad. Like Peralta could have pitched to a 3.5 ERA, and it wouldn't have been good enough. Bichette could have had a little bit better numbers, and it wouldn't have been good enough. Those guys have been disasters. Certainly Peralta, and I'm with you on Bichette as far as the expectations versus result.
Any surprises today with the trades, or you expect business as usual?
I think Holmes will be traded. I think Weaver will be traded, and I think the Yankees will add a catcher and a reliever.
Sign me up. I don't think we'll have a crazy day. If there's a crazy name I could throw out there somewhat, maybe Mike Trout going to the Phillies. Yeah, that's all I got.
I saw that circulating last night.
It's a fake news story, but maybe there's some validity to it. That's the only crazy one I could think of. So I don't know. We shall see. All right, we got some YouTube comments, Sal. This from, what a name, Analysis 1957. What a name. Baseball is broken. Dodgers will just defer another $1 billion in salary. They play by different rules. They get Skubal. They make a mockery of the playoffs. Then baseball strikes for the 2027 season. Now, here's where I'm going to push back on this, Sal. Listen, the Dodgers more than likely are going to win their 3rd straight World Series. But I do want to caution everybody, and just saying it's a foregone conclusion. 2 years ago, the Dodgers faced elimination against the San Diego Padres in Game 4 of the NLDS. Last year, Sal, you and I watched the World Series. It was fun. It was riveting. Toronto should have won. So, like, this idea that the Dodgers are just a given, baseball doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I've been saying that for years, and certainly the last 2, especially after they won that first one. It's like, all right, hard to get the second one, and then they got the second one. Now, if I had a bet on it, would I bet the Dodgers? I would not. I don't bet the favorites, and the odds are you're not going to win 3 straight. But still, the fact that I just respect them for going all in.
Sal, remember this: if they're going to get knocked off, it won't be in the World Series. Yankee fans are going to want to hear that. If the Dodgers get to the World Series, they're winning it.
Yeah, they
will lose before the World Series if they get knocked off.
They're not losing to the American League. And more than likely, hard to fathom them losing even in the National League at this point. Maybe a best of 5. That's the only way that you get them. Maybe, to me. But dude, I blame the rest of the league. I respect what the Dodgers are doing. That's certainly how the Mets and Yankees should operate. And I feel like the Mets would be if they were where the Yankees are. The Yankees, to me, need to do a little bit more. Doesn't it bother you as a Yankee fan seeing somebody else do what you did so well in the 90s?
Acting like that, yes. But on this particular case with this particular player,
I got it.
Not as much.
But overall, it's not even just this one.
The mentality, yes. Yes. I admit it. I absolutely admit it. And that is a perfect final thought for Sal Licata and John Jastrzemski to send you on your way on this Monday. When we return on Wednesday, the trade deadline will be over and done with. It will be full swing, stretch run of the baseball season, football, the whole deal. For Sal Licata, John Jastrzemski signing off. That's the New York Sports Rush, presented by the Bet Rivers Network.